Hey guys, and we're live. We're going to do it a little bit different tonight. I'm actually going to do the X39 thing at the end because I got the Mama Bears coming on and we're going to get them on as soon as possible. But we'll do some call outs right now until they get in the back. Here, welcome to the show from Alabama, upstate New York. Welcome to the show. Mike's got his own show now. There was a video, Burlington, Iowa, Pennsylvania in the house. Upstate New York in the house. Welcome to the show. Pennsylvania in the house. Where y'all calling from? Welcome to the show. We got the Mama Bears on tonight and another guest coming on a little bit later. Fort Worth, Texas in the house. Welcome to the show. North Carolina, welcome to the show. California, welcome to the show. You live with Doug. Kenya, welcome to the show. That's a long way away. Utah, Cindy, welcome to the show. You live with Doug. South Carolina, welcome to the show. All right, I see the Mama Bears are in the back office. They must live close if they could just come on like that. If you watch the video, it's on my Facebook page, and it's all in the Telegram group about where Mike is. Kentucky in the house, welcome to the show. Greenville, South Carolina. Ohio, North Liberty, Iowa. That's where you guys are from. Louisiana here. Michigan here. North Texas in the house. Nova Scotia, West Virginia. Welcome to the show. You're live with Doug. Germantown, Tennessee. Welcome to the show. Love you, Doug. I love you back. Froggy Nights representing. Carolina, Florida in the house. All right, guys, I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes. I'm going to bring them on. New Hampshire in the house. Michigan in the house. Lake City, Minnesota in the house. That'd never happen. Look here. Ohio in the house. Orlando, Canada. Ontario, Canada in the house. California in the house. Mississippi in the house. All right, guys. Louisiana in the house. Feeling Froggy from Texas in the house. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in the Mama Bears. Welcome to the show, Mama Bears. Let me get that thing off of your head.
Always on my head. The X39.
Let me take that off. There we go. That's much better. That's much better. How are y'all this evening?
We are great. How are you?
I'm great as well. Hey, listen, guys. I know we just had you on a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to bring you back on. Some of the people might not have heard your story, and I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys. Get noticed out here. And look, I can't answer the phone. I'm on a call, bro. And my phone goes, roo, 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 roo. It's got a dog's bark. But anyways, I wanted to bring them back on to tell her story and tell us about where they're about to head out to and tell us all about Clay's event and everything like that. So, girls, without further ado, it was a pleasure to meet you guys in Florida. We had fun down there. So, girls, tell us all about what you do and what it's all about with you girls.
Sure. Well, we started out about a year ago as friends. God just brought us together, and Kimberly and I, after 3 hours of conversation, we just knew that with God's help, we'd be a force to be reckoned with. And we were right. Little did we know, though, what would happen with COVID and what would go on with our daughters. So when the mask began, Olivia started developing a face rash. We both noticed it. Kimberly came to me and said, what am I going to do? And I can't keep putting this on her. And I said, you got to get a religious exemption. So that is what she did. And then at the same time, Evie, my daughter, who's 9, she was having a lot of difficulty breathing. She said, I feel like I'm suffocating. I can't focus. I can't breathe. Don't make me go to school. So our daughters were suffering at the same time. And so we were very determined to do something about it. So we began speaking before the school board on March 23rd. And we wanted to let them know that what they were doing to our daughters was abuse. Absolutely abuse. Mm-hmm. And we called them out for it. And we didn't stop there. So March 23rd was our first protest. And then that week, I turned in a religious exemption for my daughter because they would not accept a medical exemption like they did for Olivia. I thought they would because my daughter is in special education. She has learning deficits in several areas, including sensory processing issues. And so because the Disabilities Act, American with Disabilities Act, states that they have to make accommodations, I thought that I had a reasonable case. And in fact, in the Ankeny documents of Addendum B, it states, children with sensory processing issues should not be forced to wear a mask. But when I brought it to the superintendent, they disagreed with me. They did not recognize my case. And so they said no. So I brought a religious exemption. But what they did to my daughter is they isolated her in the classroom. They put up a big plexiglass barrier wall, kind of like a prisoner, behind the plexiglass. And they would not allow her within 6 feet of any child in the school, not an associate, not a teacher, no friends, not at recess, not at lunch. It was emotionally traumatic. And then Kimberly's daughter, similarly, but with physical. So I'll let you tell her about Olivia.
Yes. So my little Olivia, she's 6 years old and in kindergarten. She developed a face rash because of these masks that were forced to be put on her all day at school. The face rash then turned into impetigo, then turned into staph infection 4 different times. We've seen 2 different doctors. One was a dermatologist. And over a course of almost 3 or 4 months, the doctor finally said, Kim, we have to take this mask off of your daughter, because if we don't, that staph infection can get into her lungs and cause possibly more problems than COVID ever has or ever will. So then, so I took her, the doctor finally said, here's the religious exemption, take it to school. I took that to school, or not religious, medical exemption, medical exemption to school. The school accepted it, but then they segregated my daughter. They literally put her on one side of the room and put everybody else on the other. She was not allowed to sit next to anybody. She couldn't play with anybody. She even had her own little circle at recess that she had to stay in. Nobody could come in, and she couldn't go out of it. And she's 6 years old and in kindergarten. Not only did they do that, they also made her stand at the end of the line, 6 feet away from the very last person. So everybody lined up in their little mask, and then Olivia had to wait until they got 6 feet ahead of her, and then she was able to walk up behind them. And that happened up until, when did we pull them out? April 19th. April 19th, when we got back from Tulsa, because we went, like Emily said, we were going against the school board. The very first time we went against them was the end of March. I unfortunately wasn't allowed to speak in person that time because I wasn't put on the agenda. I didn't realize I had to call in. I've never talked to the school board before.
Right.
And so, I just thought I'd show up. I'll be able to go in and talk, no big deal. No, you have to get on this whole agenda. And they make it into this big old long process. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we spoke our piece. Well, we brought our own media. Well, when we did that, I called out Ankeny parents, or the Ankeny schools, and was telling them what they had just done to my daughter, who's a junior in high school. They had kicked her out of her class 7 times because she wore her mask under her nose. So that's kind of what I brought forth the very first time that I spoke against the school. Well, the very next day, because I spoke up against the school, they took it out on my little girl. They took my little girl, and she said to me that morning, she's like, Mom, I don't want to wear my face shield, because we allowed her to wear a face shield in hopes that she can kind of get a little closer to her classmates, but unfortunately it didn't really do anything. So I sent her to school. I said, okay, you don't want to wear it? That's fine. I've never forced my kids to do it. I always said, if you don't want to wear a mask and you don't want to put it back on, the school can call me and I'll pick you up. I'm like, then we'll just go for ice cream, because I was kind of hoping they would say, I don't want to do it. But no, they never did that. I mean, they always were very kind, very respectful.
Right.
They tried to do what was right. And then so Olivia's like, okay. So I put it in her bag. I said, if you change your mind, here it is. She's like, okay, Mom. So she went to school and she didn't have it on. Well, because they saw it without her having anything on, the principal immediately pulled her into her office and made her sit in her office all morning. They made her eat lunch in there. All the while, they're moving her desk in her classroom, putting her in a corner, and putting plexiglass around her desk. So after lunch, they took her out of the principal's office, took her to her classroom, and said, you are to sit here and you are not to move, and nobody can come near you. Yes. And so Olivia came home crying that afternoon saying, Mom, the the principal, Miss Ryan, took my face shield and she put it up on the shelf. I couldn't reach it because I asked her, I'm like, where is it? Because normally she comes home with it every day.
Right.
But this one day she did not. And it was the very next day after I had went against the school board. So literally they were mad because I was speaking up and they took it out on my daughter. And so I asked the school, I'm like, okay, if you're going to put this plexiglass desk up and this is how it's going to be, let me come in and see what it's all about. Let me see it. Let me see if I feel okay with it, whatever. And the principal's like, no, we can't let you come in because of COVID. And I'm like, okay, I will wear a hazmat suit if I have to.
Right.
Come in and see where you're putting my child. And, you know, I'm a mom of 7. So it is very hard for me to homeschool. And I amen to every mom and parent out there that can do this because holy cow. How do you do it? You know, I'm sure I could figure it out eventually, but no, not right now.
Right.
So I asked him, I'm like, can we please come in and see it? And she's like, no. I'm like, can you at least send me a picture like you had done before? And she said, no, because you'll put it on social media and we don't want that on social media.
What?
So, yep. So they would not let me come in and they would not let me have a picture because they were afraid of what I was going to do with that picture. And honestly, they were right. I was going to. I would have put it on Facebook. I would have put it anywhere.
Right.
Because people need to know what these teachers and what these people are doing behind our backs to our kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad Olivia is old enough to where she can really actually tell me what's going on.
Right.
And she might not, like when she was describing the plexiglass, she's like, Mom, they put this thing on my desk. It was like this big and I could see through it, but I couldn't move it. And it was big. And I'm like, it's plexiglass. I knew exactly what it is because since December, when I turned in her medical exemption until the end of March, I have been very strict and said that you are not to put plexiglass ever around my child's desk. That would make her feel horrible, segregated, anything. And no, I wasn't going to do it. And so we had agreed upon it. And then all of a sudden they just did it because I spoke up.
Wow. So what are some of the steps that y'all took to get this amazing work done that you guys got done?
Yeah. By the grace of God, we ended up in Tulsa. And so we got to pour our hearts out before 4,500 patriots who have become like family.
We love everybody.
We love you all.
Yes,
You've been
everyone.
so supportive of us. And when we got home from Tulsa, we were just more determined than ever to get these masks off of our kids, off of all of our kids in Iowa. So what we did is we got the attention of some representatives and some senators that were freedom lovers and men of integrity. And we got before them and we told them our stories. We called them. Really, Frog, we just bugged the crap out of them.
We did the Clay Clark thing.
We did the Clay Clark thing.
We just bugged
the crap out of people. And we just wouldn't let up. And we said, you need to hear us. And they were really taken with compassion for our stories. And we got to the Capitol, actually, that Monday when we protested, it was really looking kind of bleak because they allowed us to protest. Our children, actually. They said I ruined the decorum of their meeting because the previous meeting, I videotaped them walking out on me because I took off my mask to speak about 10 feet from the nearest person. And they said, put that back on or we're going to be done here with the meeting and we're going to stop the meeting. I said, go ahead. So they stopped the meeting and I videotaped them walking out. And as they were walking out, they took off their masks, those hypocrites. But anyways, that was a day that was looking pretty bleak. Our children did get to speak before the board, but they did a very dehumanizing thing. And they moved the podium back about 50 feet. They're up. Children are down here only taking 2 steps into the room before this big plexiglass wall thing, is in front of them and this podium. And they would not even show our children's faces when they spoke, because they didn't want that emotional connection to these children that were pouring their hearts out saying, you're hurting me, you're harming me, I don't feel safe at school. Those were my daughter's words. And so that day, we didn't know what was going to happen. All we knew was the next day was the Capitol sit-in, and we had to get down there. So we got down to the Capitol sit-in, and we were able to get on the floor. We wrote 140 letters to the governor, 220 in attendance. We spoke our stories to the people on the Capitol floor. We got the ear of the legislators and senators, and they said, well, we'll draft up legislation. And we thought, okay, when? Great. But we know that legislation, how they drag it out forever. And we didn't want summer to hit because we knew summer, that's sports in 90-degree weather, that's summer camps, and these children suffering with these face diapers on their faces with all kinds of bacteria, just welling up in their lungs and on their faces. So we thought we needed to do something. So that day they said, we'll draft up legislation, but they actually did it that day. And they said, the governor's ready to sign if this passes. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. God is amazing. And so it passed 52 to 34 in the House. And then the governor was ready to sign that night. And so we waited and we're like, we got to get to the Capitol. So we went down to the Capitol waiting for her, and she actually signed it at 12:30 a.m. She'd never done that before. She also said she wanted the bill to go into effect immediately when she signed it, not later.
Kids can go that morning to school without mask.
Yep, and that's what she did. And so these schools had to wait to the last minute, but they sent out their email saying, we can't require your children to wear masks anymore. And we thought, oh, happy day. So it was a happy day the next day. It was wonderful.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had pulled Olivia out the day after we got back from Tulsa because I was afraid of what they were going to do when I announced that I was suing them. So once the governor signed the bill, she signed it on a Thursday morning or Wednesday morning. It was the 20th. Yeah. May 20th. And then that following Monday is when Olivia got to go to school for the very first time. And she was so excited. She's like, Mom, I told everybody about the rule that the governor made and that my mom made the rule and you can't make me wear a mask anymore. And she was telling all her friends, and she was just so excited. And it was just amazing.
What a great story. So where are you guys headed next?
We're headed to Anaheim.
Yep.
Really?
Clay and General Flynn and many thousands of beautiful patriots that we love that really have become like family. So many have reached out to us, and we know your children are suffering, and we're really trying to help everyone that we can. There are 10 other states, Doug, that have started their freedom over fear movements, and they're going to try to replicate our blueprint and get masks lifted off of their children. Because you know what's happening is the vaccine, once we lift these masks off, there's no more emergency. Okay, there's no more reason to push their jab at all. And they know that. So that's why they're keeping these face diapers on our children over and over and over again, months at a time, talking about this new variant. What is it called again?
Delta
variant coming in so that they can keep these face diapers on and they can push the jab on the children.
California announced that they have to put, you have to wear a mask inside and outside now. My mother-in-law lives in California. She just told us yesterday that they just put it back on that you have to wear a mask outside at all times and inside buildings because of the new Delta variant.
I wouldn't go to. I couldn't bring myself to go to California.
I said to her, what's funny is I said to her, I'm like, because we heard that Clay was going to go to California. I said to her, Emily, the only way I will ever go out there is if somebody paid me to go. And look what happened. Like, he's like, hey, you guys got to come out. And we don't want, I know there's plenty of patriots out there in California, so we don't want to ever leave them high and dry. And so that's why we are coming, even though the governor sucks. But we are coming.
And we want to give you hope because with God, there's always hope.
Yeah.
There's always hope.
Absolutely. So somebody told me you're selling tickets for the event out in Anaheim.
We are. So Clay graciously agreed to donate some funds to us to help with Kimberly's lawsuit and others to come, and also our travels. And so if you want to give to us and our organization, because we are all about freedom of religion, freedom against medical tyranny. So we're not going to stop here. We're just beginning with our nonprofit organization.
Absolutely.
And so if you want to go to the event, you can just enter the code Moma Bears or give it to the person that calls you back because you will be vetted if you want a ticket, whether it's to go to Michigan or next to Colorado Springs or next to Texas, or if you still want to go to California.
Michigan.
Yep. So anytime you enter the code or give the code Moma Bears, then you will receive a 10% discount automatically, and some of the proceeds will go towards us and our organization.
I had it in here. Darn it, I don't have it in here right now. You just go to look up Clay Clark, and it'll be his events, and then you'd put Mama Bear in. Because if you call that number or try to order tickets, they're going to ask you who recommended you to call, and make sure you say Mama Bears.
Mama Bears.
Thank you.
Yes. We'd love to see you out there. We've met
I don't know about California. I think I'll be going to Michigan. There's no telling where Bonafide's about to drag me, to be honest with you.
We'll drag him out to California.
I don't know if I want to go out to California. I might not be able to get out of there. But I could see us going to Texas and Kentucky and Michigan and other places as well. We're going to get in that Winnebago and tour the countries, from what I've been told. So
yeah, that's awesome.
There's some big things coming for the Frog News Network, and as we become the news, we're getting away from the Inquirer news. We want to give real good information now. So I just trying to separate myself from people that just don't tell the truth. They just go on and make stuff up about what's about to happen, but we can't have that anymore. But anyways, girls, anything else you'd like to share with us tonight?
We just want to say, come find us on Facebook. I mean, go to Freedom Over Fear 2, the number 2. Answer some questions, otherwise you're not going to get in, because we don't need no trolls. That's how we got shut down last time. We reached over 11,000 followers in 1 month from Clay's event. And I went live on the very last protest that we were doing at our school, and they shut us down. They took us completely out, wiped us out, because I was just our protest. We were talking about how the masks were working, and I was showing them my kids' speeches and how far back we were. So I don't see a little bit. So that area right here is where my daughter is standing, and this is the school board right back there. And normally
she need a bullhorn for they could hear her.
Sure does. And this is on my TikTok, so you can actually go onto my TikTok. It's X Baxter of 7, XBAXXER of 7 on TikTok, and watch all these videos, and you can see how far back they pushed our kids. And like I said, we were promoting that, we were showing it just how real it was, and they took us down.
Also, if you like our shirts, if you like our message, Freedom Over Fear, we do have a store, and that helps promote us too and support us in our movement and our nonprofit.
And we want to let you know also that our nonprofit's not just for us traveling and for my lawsuit. We also want to give back to the people who want to file small lawsuits but maybe can't afford to. So we eventually, once we start getting enough funds put in, we definitely want to help people, because we know it's hard to file a lawsuit. Trust me. I'm a mama.
It costs a lot of money.
So I'm having to pick up second and third jobs just to try to pay for my attorney. So, we want to help others, because I know what kind of a struggle it is. And by us coming together and helping one another out, we can win, and we will.
Yes.
Well, that's great, girls. I appreciate you girls coming on and taking the time. Some of the people might be new and didn't hear your story, but I just wanted to help you guys spread the word and help you gain some more funds for your lawsuit. As we lift other people, God will lift us up. Isn't that correct?
That's right. That's absolutely correct. Yes. And really, through all this, meeting you, Doug, and meeting everyone at that Tampa event, it just really solidifies to me that God is using ordinary people to do extraordinary things, that he may get the most glory. I mean, over and over again.
And we just want to inspire others like ourselves, because we're just 2 stay-at-home moms, who just did what we had to protect our children. And I mean, of course, we never expected it to get a law passed, but, that's what God had intended for us to do. And we just kept following just his lead and said, all right, we're just going to do this. And we got it done, and we can help others.
Well, you guys are patriots, and that's what we need. People that will fight for our country and fight for our rights under the Constitution to take the country back, not people sitting at home on their butts complaining about when the next check's about to arrive. We need real patriots. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take action.
Yeah. Got out from behind these computers. I mean, we can't be a computer warrior, because nobody's going to come save us.
No, you have to actually get out and do something.
Yeah.
You know, it goes down to when's the last time you somebody attended a school board meeting like you? When's the last time they went in front of city council? Do they even know how their district's made up? Who's in charge of it? Who's in charge of the state? Nobody knows that. All they just want to know is when's the next free thing coming out? When can I get it? How come it ain't here yesterday? And can you supersize that, please?
Yeah.
The world doesn't work like that.
No,
You know, you
no.
have to get behind the thing, and start something, with some power so you can start to regain our country. That's the way I feel about it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we developed a blueprint for people to follow, actually, if they want to. There's 5 steps, and we can send it to you. I don't know if there's a way you can post it, but it's
You
5
send it to
steps
me
to
and I'll
follow.
post it, okay?
Okay.
And say all your social media stuff again so everybody knows.
Sure. So you can follow us on Freedom Over Fear 2, number 2. You can also follow us on our mini website. We have a mini website. It's freedomoverfear.get, G-E-T, card. Kimberly's going to type it in for you, .com. So it's freedomoverfear.get, card.com. And that will
Are you
take you
putting it in
directly
the private chat?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Putting
sending
it in there
to
right
you.
now.
Okay, and then I'll take this. Hold on, and I'll copy that and I'll put it in a banner, and we'll run it for the next few minutes. And here it is, right here, folks. Boom, boom, boom.
We can type in to use code Mama Bears when you go to the Health and Freedom Conference registration as well, so that you can have that information available to you at your fingertips. Here we go.
Yeah, I had so much fun down in Florida, but I wasn't used to the heat. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It was super hot.
Island. We thought Iowa heat was bad.
Right.
I don't think we knew.
Well, girls, I got somebody else lined up for the 10 o'clock hour. I appreciate you girls coming by, sharing your story once again. And you guys, if you're watching it on now or watching it on the replay, you can simply pause the video and get their information. Girls, thanks again for coming by.
We love you.
We love you back, man. We're going to see you at the next event pretty soon. If it ain't Kentucky, Bonavide's going to drag me all around. So the road. I think it's for 30 straight days. We're going to be on the road.
Wow.
So big things are coming.
Iowa, will you?
Come to
Just
Iowa.
We'll put you up for a night or two.
You don't have to wear a mask anywhere.
Nope. Iowa's a free state. Just come visit.
Okay. All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night, Doug.
Michael, give me just a minute. I got a little work to do here, and then I'll get you right on. Hey guys, I just want to play this video right now, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Hey, someone said you needed a friend today. All right, someone said that you were down, but you were not out. Someone said that I need to come and speak to you and tell you that you're still in the fight and there's a battle. I'm supposed to come and help you fight, so I wanted to tell you to get up. I want to tell you to stand. Come on, put your gear on. We still have a fight to win. I want to tell you that you're in a battle for your life right now, and I want to tell you I got your back. I have your 6, and as long as I'm here, you're not fighting alone. I want you to tell you, come on, walk with me. Even if you got to lean on my shoulder, I'll tell you, I got you. I want you to keep firing your weapon. I want you to keep shooting, and I want you to stay in the fight, because I need you, and I won't leave you. I'm going to be by your side the whole time. I'm going to be fighting. I'm going to be throwing lead for you. I'm going to be fighting with you. I'm going to be there the whole time, and I ask that you just stay with me. So get up. Get up.
All right, guys, it ended real quick. But what I wanted to send out the message right there, we're in a fight for this country, okay? And some people, like I was alluding to, want stuff yesterday. They want stuff easy. Just give me the information, whether it's relevant or not. Some people want intel, whether it's accurate or not. From now on and here on out, I won't provide anything unless I can back up the intel, okay? From now on, if there's not intel, I'll bring people on the show that can show us how to win our country back, not a bunch of inquirer stuff. We're going to have real stuff. We're getting ready to cut loose, go on a 30-day tour across this country and interview people at these events and the key speakers at these events and get what's really going on and how we can really change this country. but I just wanted to share that what you guys before I bring Michael on, and that's why I didn't share the X39 to start with, is because Michael's going to come on and tell his story, and then we're actually going to talk a little intel after that. But Mike, I'm gonna bring you in, and the link I gave you was just for the show. If your friends want to watch it live, this is the link to bring people on. But I can bring everybody on if they want to come on. But I'll bring you on. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Yeah, I got people that I sent that would love to be on.
Okay, well, I'll let them come on. Not right now, folks. We're gonna bring all these folks on. Welcome, Peter. Welcome, Elizabeth. Is that how you say your name? Excuse me if I got it wrong. But
That's
welcome to the show. Right now, we're just going to talk a little bit about this amazing company, is LifeWave, that I'm involved in. And Michael is like a super duper one of the highest leaders in the company. And Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your story. And then, guys, at the end of this, we'll get into some intel. But I wanted to just bring him on with his friends and explain the opportunity that exists for us and the amazing product that we have. Michael, go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me, Doug?
Yes, sir, I can.
You know, I didn't have any time to prepare. There's no script. This is all from the heart. And that's usually how I talk. I got that name, Mr. Passion, because of my passion for people. I love this industry. It's changed me. It's made me who I am. I come from a tough Italian neighborhood in Kansas City, and wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for people with massive ADD. I could not hold a job. I remember selling cars one time, and I left 4 times to go have a lunch, and the owner said, "You're not going to make it, dude." And I said, "I don't want to be here. I feel like a caged lion." So I found network marketing, Doug, in my 20s. I saw a friend that had so much life. He had so much fun, beautiful girlfriend, nice car. And I said, "Will you just tell me what you're doing?" He said, "Hang out with me." And I did. And this career has taken me literally to places that, well, like right now, speaking to you and thousands of your listeners, it's an honor to be here. And again, I want to say happy Thanksgiving. Happy 4th of July. But Doug, when you understand the gravity of this message, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anything that I ever imagined, because it started really with me in a hospital bed. After 3 auto accidents, one involving a drunk driver, I was really decimated. At 50-something years old, I really was in a place that was not good. I had lost everything because of my injuries, no health insurance. And when my friend Peter called me, he said, "Mr. Passion, I have a gift for you." Because he knew what I had done in the industry. We were friends from another company. He was in my organization. And I said, "Peter, I'm not really interested." And he said, "Well, I'm not going to mail it to you. You're going to have to come get it." And I'm thinking, nah, not anymore, Peter. I've had my day in the sun. I've got so many problems, from sleep apnea to narcolepsy to vertigo to congestive heart failure, pain all over my body. I'm on the way out, but it was nice knowing you. And he said, "I'm not going to give up on you." And he actually called that house that I was staying at. People were trying to save my life for probably 10 days in a row, and they were fed up. But he made me come get it. And that's the thing about this story, the God story. I happened to be in California, Doug, not too far from him, but an hour and a half in Temecula. And my friend Scott happened to be going from San Diego to Orange County. He picked me up on a Thursday night and drove me all the way, I'll never forget it, on a Thursday night to Peter's house. And when I got there, he didn't recognize me. I was swollen. He said, "Mike, you look gray." I said, "Thanks, Peter. I'm going to join your self-esteem course." But anyway, he said, "Sit down." So I sat down, Doug, and he put this X39 on my foot that was swollen like a football. And the pain in my heel was just excruciating. But God had a plan, Doug. And after 2 days of that, we were driving with Scott. And I said, "Scott, my foot doesn't hurt." He said, "Well, what is it?" I said, "It has to be that patch. I haven't done anything different." So he said, "Well, is it placebo?" I said, "I don't think so. There's something to this." The next day, Doug, I woke up with vitality. I woke up with a hope that I hadn't had in years. I was so low, Doug, I could play handball against the curb.
Wow.
Well, the story gets even more intense. So here's what happened. I immediately call Peter. I take an Uber the next day from Temecula. That's not cheap. To Orange County. I said, Peter, what did you do to me? He said, Mr. Passion, this is stem cell technology. This patch will light up the stem cells in your body. For less than $120, you can actually ignite stem cell activity in your body, and it's patented. No one has it. I said, that is sexy. That will sell. I'm in, but I'm not going to live long. I said, I've got congestive heart failure. I've got 20 different ailments, Peter, but I want to go out one more time. I don't want people to say Mr. Passion was good at one point, but he ended up dead broke, because I had gone through all my savings, Doug, with no insurance. And I was low as somebody could be, but I felt hope with this product. And I know that I have a big mouth when I like someone, like something, right? Because I've told you about a great movie that I like or a great restaurant. So I knew I could do this one more time if God let me live. So fast forward 4 or 5 days later, I'm back in a hospital because the fluid in my heart would elevate to the point where I couldn't breathe, Doug. I couldn't walk 5 feet. It was horrendous. I mean, to be able to not be able to even stand up because you can't breathe. And I was swollen. I was like, I'm out of here. I ain't going to make it. So they rushed me to the hospital. And I remember when I got there, Doug, it didn't look good. And when the doctor comes in after taking your blood pressure over 200, and a priest comes, a priest, he is like a priest. A gentleman walks in that says, I'd like to pray for you. Do you mind? I said, no, go ahead.
Wow.
How could it hurt? And something happened miraculously, Doug. I don't want to get real religious tonight, but God had a plan, because they immediately put me in the ICU. And I remember having my phone with me, and the nurse said, we got to take your phone. I said, She goes, sir, you're in the ICU. We don't allow phones. I said, it's the only lifeline I have. I don't have anybody. He said, what do you mean? I said, I don't. I've lost my parents. I don't want to tell my friends because I'm a proud Italian. We grew up in a tough neighborhood. You didn't show any weakness. I didn't want my friends to know where I was at. I didn't have Mandy anymore. We had broken up. So I was virtually alone. He said, well, we got to call somebody. I said, well, you choose. I don't know who to call. So, but I knew, Doug, I knew that if I could just will myself one more time, and something told me, if you have a passion to live, and I heard that from a speaker, then nothing's impossible. So, Doug, I started texting people. I believe I found the fountain of youth. This little patch has taken away my pain, given me my life back. And I believe it can bless you. And I tagged the video, Live Younger. And I knew that Peter would be around for a 3-way call, Ron Rayburn. And when they called back or text me after the oxygen machine, after the breathing treatment, I would call them and say, Peter, I have a 3-way. This gentleman's interested. I sponsored 6 people in the ICU.
Wow.
And I told the Lord, if you let me live, I'll go all the way to the top in record time. And we had an iconic run. In 11 months, Peter and I hit the top rank in the company, senior presidential director. Here's the pin.
Wow.
And with 13,000 people in 17 countries in 11 months, that doesn't happen.
Wow.
God put some super on my natural. And it wasn't the record breaker, but it was as far as people. That nobody had that many people that quickly. So God let me live. The story has gone around the world because the product works, Doug. It's patented. It's changing lives. It's helping people from all over the world, from Australia down to Mexico. Doug, and here's the thing about it. There's no competition. It's not a Me Too product. You can't buy it anywhere else, only through Lifeway. Where else can you get stem cell technology that can resonate through your body and make you feel younger? Who don't want to feel younger and live younger? Who don't want to be their best? And that's the narrative, Doug. And the sky's the limit. All your listeners, I have to praise you for having the courage to do what you're doing. We love this country. We appreciate. I got to thank Charlotte Diamond, Dr. Ralph Steve Bailey for doing this and getting you in our organization, because you have the power. And I knew it, but I never knew how big this would become until now, Doug. It's a crazy, incredible time to be alive and have LifeWave a part of it.
Wow, that's amazing. I think you mentioned to me earlier, between all the people in your company, you raised over $1 billion? Is that what you told me?
No, my teams have done over 1.5 billion in this crazy space of networking.
Wow.
But you know what happened, Doug? A lot of that I got taken advantage of. A lot of owners can't handle success. And when they go from zero to a multimillionaire, they do stupid things. And that's cost me. In 2013, I was ranked in the top 500 networkers in the world. And the president of that company stole all of our checks. That caused me a nervous breakdown. I was done with the industry, but I loved it. Where else can where else can a stay-at-home mom make millions of dollars like they have in Mary Kay and other companies? It's the best way for average people to become above average. But our owner, David Smith, isn't that guy. He's a scientist. He's a Christian. He loves people, and he could have sold out for $1 billion. Every day somebody walks in wanting to buy this and say, we want X39. And he says, I can't do that to my people. They helped me get here. It's just incredible what we have, Doug.
Well, that's an amazing story. Amazing story, Mr. Passion. I really, that's an incredible story. And I got another gentleman coming on tomorrow night that I alluded to you earlier that had a similar a great story. Did you want to bring Peter in and bring him on and he could testify to some of the things here? I'll add Peter back. Peter, can you tell us a little bit about Michael's success and how it all started for you guys?
Yeah, I'd love to add a few lyrics. Can you hear me, folks?
Yes.
Doug, it's been a pleasure to meet you, man. And you know, I have known of you before Charlotte introduced you, because I'm into all that woo-woo vibration, patriotic, good stuff. So first of all, I want to thank you, Doug, for everything that you've done, everything that you're doing, all the lives that you're touching, all the lives that are starting to awaken because of what you do. So again, if I was wearing my South Florida tropical hat right now, Doug, indubitably I would tip it to you, my friend.
All
you can still hear me.
Yes,
you
sir.
Can still hear me, right?
So tell us the story and from what you remember, how Michael got in touch with you and how you got him involved in with this program.
Actually, I was the one that initially contacted Michael. Look, Doug, I absolutely had no interest in the LifeWave business model. I've been involved. I've been involved full time in network marketing for over 33 and a half years this past April. Okay. In fact, one of my medical device distributors, the last company I was with, and I'm still with them, he posted on Facebook, July 12, 2019. Hey, folks, I do believe I found the fountain of youth. Please check this out. And there was a link there to click to watch the same 3-minute movie. I didn't click on the link, Doug. I just assumed that now he's starting to suffer from shiny object syndrome. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's doing something else. The very next day, one of his medical device distributors reposted the same post.
Right.
So I didn't click on the link, so I called him. And he says, Peter, I know why you're calling. Just know I'll never, ever abandon this medical device. But when you're at my age at 64 and you've climbed 40-foot ladders over 50,000 times over 35 years, you get the aches and the pain. So when I saw Peter, he says, the 3-minute movie, it just made a lot of sense. He says, Peter, I could tell you didn't watch the movie, right? I said, no, I didn't. He says, well, Peter, I got some bad news for you, my friend. At your age, you probably don't have any stem cells, so you're going to age faster. If you have any injuries, they're going to take longer to heal. He says, Peter, don't do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go click on the link and watch the movie. And Doug, that's exactly what I did. I clicked on the link. It just made a lot of sense. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that at that time, The only thing I knew about stem cells is that it's anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000 per injection.
Yes.
That's all I knew. I didn't know that, stem cells are responsible for what I call the 4 Rs. They repair, they restore, they regenerate, and they rejuvenate. So I was impressed with that brief 3-minute movie. So I called Ron back and I said, Ron, I want you to do me a huge personal favor. He said, well, what is it? I said, listen, I'm going to sign up with the silver pack. I have no interest in the business. Please don't you mention my name on social media, because I'm a team manager with that other company and still am. He says, I said, don't you mention my name on any of the conference calls. I just want to try the product.
Right.
3 months supply. I said, okay. So he signed me up on the 13th of July, 2019. And before he hung up, he says, Peter, you want to see something really crazy? Text to 10 people tonight. Hi, Doug. I do believe I found the Fountain of Youth and the link for them to click on to watch the 3-minute movie. Well, he says, text to 10 people that's not in your current medical device business. Text to 10 people, preferably over the age of 60, because they all probably have not only a health challenge, but health challenges, as in more than one. And Doug, that's exactly what I did. 4 out of the 10 people called me the next day with a whole bunch of questions. Obviously, I don't know anything. I watched a movie 3-minute movie the day before. So what do? They say success leaves clues. Doug, I put all 4 people individually on a 3-way with Ron Rabin. And again, they say success leaves clues. Every single one of them made the decision to get on the product. And, one of my favorite sayings is this: it's in your moment of decision that your destiny is determined. Right. So 4 people signed up. I upgraded to the Diamond Pack. I still had no interest in the business. I sponsored 2 of my good friends with health challenges.
Uh-huh.
So fast forward the end of August, I found out through the grapevine that Michael on the other line here, whom I hadn't seen or spoken to in quite a few years, I found that he was visiting some friends in Temecula, about an hour and a half drive here. And, Spirit just directed me. I called Michael. I said, Michael, you heard his story. I have a very expensive gift for you, but I'm not going to mail it to you. You got to come here and get it. And Doug, I got to tell you, when I opened up the front door, I didn't even recognize this gentleman. He didn't look too good.
Right.
And so he came into the living room. He's on one couch. I'm on the other. I placed the X39, and I didn't even know the patching protocol for the Ice Wave pain patch. There are 2 of the Ice Wave pain patches. I put one of them on his ankle on the X39, and we're talking on about 5 minutes after. Michael is wearing shorts. He extends his right foot, and he's rotating his right ankle, and he says, oh my gosh, Peter, the pain's gone. So I gifted him my promise with a month's supply of the X39, and I called him. I called him every single day just to make certain that he was patching, and the rest is history. Again, I had to pray and meditate on it. Fast forward, the 3rd week in September of 2019, we formed a limited liability corporation. And let me tell you, right now, because of people like you, Doug, because of people like Charlotte, Dr. Ralph, Darren Branson, I don't know if they're on this Zoom webinar.
I'm sure they're listening.
Yeah, Doug, we literally have, thanks to folks like you, they say that which is likened unto itself is drawn. We literally have the fastest growing team in all 110 countries that LifeWave is in. And in about 21 months, maybe 22 months, Doug, Michael, and I collectively, we've only personally sponsored, 53, 56, 57 people. But those 56 have literally multiplied in this relatively short window in time to over 16,500 people in 29 countries. And you know what's the best thing I like? One of the many best things I like, Doug, about it? Those folks, 99% of those people, I don't even know who they are, but what I love, thank you, Jesus, is that they make Michael and I a whole lot of money while we're sleeping.
Well, that's what it's all about. But the main thing is to get people to help with the patches, because I've got so many. I got a remarkable story tomorrow of a gentleman that I signed up that was had 7,000 in his downline in another company, and he almost lost his leg, and he's been struggling with pain. And then he joined as a distributor, and then he calls me. And he's bawling on the phone. He's crying. I said, "Are you all right? What's wrong?" He said, "Man, no pain pills ever worked. No pain patches ever worked. Nothing they rubbed on my leg ever worked to take away the pain in my leg." And he said, "I put this on, and 30 minutes later, 90% of the pain's gone." Talked to him today on the phone. This is 3 weeks ago. Today, 3-week update. He couldn't even get up the steps of the second floor without stopping on every step. He says, "I'm literally jogging up the steps now. My kids are going, 'Dad, how did this happen?'" And he's coming on tomorrow, and we're going to open the show with him and then get into intel after about 15 minutes. It's just a remarkable product, and it's great that you can get involved and become a distributor and make a massive income, but it's having results with so many people in so many different ways. It's just amazing to just take a patch and tell me what you think.
Hey, Doug.
Two things. Hold on, Michael. Two things I want to mention to you. Doug, first of all, I just want you to know that of all of our team members on our team, Michael and I, you have the record to have personally sponsored. When I looked last night for the first time, 180 people in like what, a couple of months?
5 weeks.
I mean, that's beyond extraordinary. The last thing I want to leave you with, Doug, I've always believed that when you come from a context of contribution and you realize that you really have a profound opportunity to impact the life or lives of countless numbers of people in an extraordinary way, health-wise, an even bigger difference is made in your own life. And as a secondary consideration, Doug, the money just tracks you down like a bloodhound. So thanks for having me on, and back to you.
All right. I appreciate that. And everybody, across the bottom of the screen is a link to get more information on the LifeWave patches, the X39 patches. I encourage you to come by. If you got a question, you can instant message me on Facebook under Denby Doug. You can you can hit me up in my private Telegram. I'll be glad to answer any questions you got. If I don't have the answers, I can get them from these gentlemen or Charlotte, my upline, or the doctor, one or the other. I'm just really excited to have both you gentlemen come on tonight and explain and tell us the success you've had, but also your story about how it saved your life, how it made you, it took your pain away, and it rejuvenated your whole life when you basically were, like you said, playing handball with the gutter. You were close to wanting to give up, but you turned your whole life around just because now you feel better. Now you can produce better. And the amazing story that you signed up 6 people out of your bed in intensive care. So that ought to encourage anybody that they can do this, guys and girls. You can do this and be successful. It's just a wonderful thing that it's going on. I want to thank both of you for coming on tonight. And I'm going to try to get my buddy to come on and talk a little about where we're headed with the Frog News Network. Bonafide, if you're out there listening, jump on in the back office for me, bud, and I'll put you on.
Hey, Doug.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I want to say one thing that's on my heart.
Go ahead, sir.
People can live 30 days without food, 7 days without water. Try to live without hope. People are hurting. The pandemic crushed people's spirits. 200 million people were forced to work from home. We're in the perfect environment. All the stars have aligned. The perfect product, no competition, stem cell, according to Time Magazine, the new medicine. You have a chance, like us, to take the bull by the horns and change your life. You can be the next star. You can be making $1,000 a week. You can do it because you're here for a reason.
Wow, that's thank you so much for sharing what's on your heart, and everything is just, to me, it's overwhelming. The position I've been put in by God to reach out and touch people.
It is, Doug. God bless you.
I'm sorry, I was trying to read a message. So I'm just gonna, guys, you can stick on. I'm just gonna go over a little intel for my listeners that I got today, and I'm going to share that with them about what's going on in our country today. I want to thank the people that stuck on the call because you're getting ready to get rewarded with stuff that just came out today. So let me run over and see if I can find it real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Where did I put it? Okay. Give me a second to find it. Hold on a second. All right, here's something that was sent to me today from a high source. We got a 24-hour warning today, guys, that July 2nd would be the day we'd see significant movement from something big happening. What is that? We can't say for sure, and I don't want to presume anything, but this is a drop, and the result, it started July, 24-hour warning. Elon Musk, he tweeted, super heavy moves tomorrow. What does that mean? That means tomorrow something big's about to happen. Something else from the White House today. This is on mainstream media. The White House to deploy Delta variant response teams across the country. They're going to try to bring the masks back, guys and girls. They can't do this, and it won't be allowed to happen. Another thing from Tesla is a new project they're starting out in California in Ventura County that they got these giant battery cells, and they're going to be able to run whole neighborhoods. They've been doing this, I think, over in Sweden for some time now, and they've been powering up neighborhoods. We're talking like miles and miles radius with free power. And as we know that we're going to get when everything switches over to Nassara, Gassara, and over to the new quantum banking system, we know that free power is coming because we know that they can run power without power lines, and power will be free. So we won't need oil anymore. Also today, the former Jason Miller launched his own little thing just like Twitter. Plus, as we know, President Trump is about to launch his whole new social media program. And check this out. Facebook has started to ask people, are you connected with someone who's becoming an extremist? Really? They're really trying to block what we're doing, that not only us, but they're trying to censor everything there is. That's not going to be allowed. And that's in one of the drops on Q2 censorship. That's not going to be tolerated. So we know that big things are, and just arrived today at 4:16 in my email. Our military intel contact just said that the grandfather just said that what grandfather said to is true. But all of these government and cabal and half-wits in the Biden fake administration, government agencies saying that the RV will be released. They're trying to hold up the RV, and everybody that's trying to hold up the RV is being arrested. So we should see this go through in a very, very short period of time. And they're saying fireworks are going off in different places around the country. They were going off in my neighborhood, and it's not July 4th. So this came from Fleming. This is like top intel stuff. This isn't stuff. Let me come out of the screen sharing that comes down through the Inquirer stuff. So this is good stuff. I didn't have a lot. There isn't a lot out there, but I'm telling you, July, what they say is going to be the craziest month ever. And I think it started today. And when you're going to start seeing, we know that President Trump has a rally on the 3rd. On the 4th, there's a big thing in South Dakota. Remember, he said that he was going to have fireworks and everything else out there. He was going to see about making sure. I think he's going to make an appearance there. Don't expect him to come back at that time. The military will be in charge first. They have to set Nassara in place. Then in 120 days, a new president will be put in place. Or if the election is turned over, the president will be put back in place. So that's what we're looking at now. Real news. Not Inquirer news, but from now on, that's what you're going to see. And if we don't have news, we'll be showing you how you can help become a better patriot and how to take the country back, simply going by what's in the Constitution and what your rights are. But anyways, we'll wrap it up there, guys. They said that also here there's DC fireworks tonight. I wouldn't know why they would have DC fireworks and it's not the 4th of July unless something big happened. We'll stick around. If there's any breaking news, I'll go live. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on tonight. It means the world to me that you guys come on and we can be in a place together as God would want us to come together, because we know if 1 and 1 is 2 is 11, that when we get 2,000 and 3,000 people in here together, that we are such a force to be reckoned with. Guys and girls, it's been my pleasure to do the show for you tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with another guest and more information on how to become a patriot to save this country. Thank you for watching and have a great night, guys. Good night.